Hello, good evening. This is Life Issue and this is Blessing. I want to say thank you to everyone that have subscribed to our channel. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, please help us subscribe. Please help us like, please help us share. Alright, so I want to talk about the Italy girl that was killed over the weekend. Alright, so when I first heard the news, I didn't want to vlog about it until I've gotten more information about what happened. Alright, so this girl's name is called Benedetta Dan. So that's her official name. Okay, and from the news that we're getting, she was on the road around Modena North in Italy. Now, official report says that she was on the road and that she's a prostitute. That's what the official report is saying. And that while she was on the road, she met this guy called Scalixia, and the guy picked her up in a van and she went somewhere with him. Now there's a normal, there are normal location that the prostitute takes you to, so they went to this location. But I think the guy wasn't satisfied with what the girl did. Maybe the girl did not do what he wanted her to do. Now we don't actually know what actually happened. What happened between the man and the girl, no one can say. No one can actually tell you because it was between them. But the man just said that she did not satisfy him. Okay, and so the guy now picked a heavy workbench vase and then hit her and she died. All right, so it is like a story that happens, and we see it on the news. Nigerian names goes around, and then the social ills or what is happening with our girls in the Western world now comes up again. And then when the story goes, we forget this is happening. Now I want to talk about two vloggers with two different views about this. Now, Mama Gladys and African German First Lady, that's what she called herself. Okay, now Mama Gladys was very vocal about what happened, and she was really against the girl's work and the fact that the girl is a prostitute and the fact that she's not married, even though she's 40 and she doesn't have a child. Now, African First Lady seems to have more information about who this girl is and what she does for a living. And I felt like her story about this story was a bit patronizing. Okay, she didn't want to call a spade a spade. In her story, she was like, okay, the girl was not always on the road, that she went out on the road because she wanted to make up money for her task. Now, we all know how this works. We all know how the Western world is. Okay, now why am I making this video? Is this just to advise someone out there, for them to understand the fact that it is not what it is. Okay, so in Africa, you are back home and you see these girls coming back home with flashy cars, with designer clothes, and they tell you, paint beautiful pictures of how life is in Western world. Now listen, you need to understand something. It's not really the big story. They give you the information that will entice you and that will get you into the Western world and that will trap you. Okay, now this girl is gone. She's gone. If someone had told her not to come into Italy, someone has told her not to come to a Western world, she could have caused that person, should have felt the person was blocking her future. But this is real. It is getting tougher. It is getting hard living in the Western world, especially if you don't have your papers. I've had to advise so many Nigerians, so many people that have called me and they want to come into Italy or they want to come into UK as visitors and stay back, and I keep telling them it's not that easy. You will end up messing yourself up. It's not that easy to come into this country without having your paper. without coming here legally, you will not be able to walk. You cannot be able to walk. Now there are some countries that it is even worse. UK is getting tough. Most of the EU countries are getting tough. So if you don't have your paper, it is impossible for you to walk. So all these things that you see on Facebook, all this slave queen and all this, all these pictures that you see, it is not real. It is not real. To get your paper costs a lot of money, and sometimes our girls are being pushed into prostitute because of this. Now, because this story has happened, we are now knowing the story behind this girl and what she does for a living. Whether she does it some days or every day, it doesn't matter. Let's not be patronizing, okay? She is on the road. She was on the road. There are a lot of girls out there who are on the road even this night, and one person will be killed. Her news went viral because maybe her body was found on the road and it was not disposed of, in the right way. But there are some people who are missing. I know of people who are missing. We can't trace them. We don't know where they are, because the person that killed them must have disposed of their body in a better way. All right. So all that glitters are not gold. That's all I wanted to say. When you hear this, this news, don't think, oh, it will not happen to me. Oh yes, it can. Yes, it can. Okay. Living and traveling to the Western world is not a do or die affair. Think about your life first. Think about what you want out of your life. If you don't mind selling your body, okay, you will come, but there's a possibility of death, of someone killing you. All right, it is happening. This is a daily occurrence. Talk to any girl on the streets, they will tell you. All right, they will tell you what the fear they have of being killed by someone, especially when you are black. They don't take us as anything. We're not valued as human beings by some people. That is just the point. Okay, so I don't want to bash this girl because she had to do what she had to do to survive. So all these people that are talking about her being a prostitute, talking about castigating her, it's not going to wake her up. Okay, it is not going to make anything better, because there are millions of them out there who are still doing the same thing, who will still go out tonight because they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. These things are done because they don't have a choice. There's no job for them. The government will not give them a job if you don't have your paper. So it is not something that they like doing sometimes, but it's something that they have to do to survive. And from what Mama Gladys and African German lady said, this girl had opportunity to get out of this life. Her friend was inviting her to another country, but she did not go. You see, timing is very important. There are times when opportunities are there. When you get that opportunity to get out, get out. When you have the opportunity that God presents to you to get out of the wrong thing, just get out. Don't be enticed by money or by the things that you get from a particular profession. Sometimes all these people, all these things are not worth it. If you have opportunity to go, just go. Okay, she's gone, she's dead, and what we're now doing is just talking ill about her, calling her a prostitute. I've all throughout this evening I've been reading things about her and what people are saying, and I'm like, seriously? Unless you walk in her shoe, unless you are in her shoe, you don't know anything about this girl. You are not in her shoe, so you cannot sit down in your high horses and you're making judgment of her because you don't know her. You're not in her shoe. She made decision for her life because maybe she didn't have a choice. Okay, and she's gone. Can we just for a moment just calm down and let her soul rest in perfect peace? That is all I have to say. That's my own opinion about the story. Some people will still come into the UK, Italy, Germany to do prostitution. We cannot stop that. The only people that can help is both governments, the Nigerian government and the country, the receiving country, because these things are mega business. These things are mega, politicians are involved. So until there are real, fights to stop this, then it will stop. But prostitution has always been there. It will always be there. Alright, so whether we talk about her or not, it will not stop another child jumping into that plane, going to Italy tomorrow, if she has that opportunity, because it is a trade. And let's not be saying Benin people. I mean, I hate when people say Benin people. It's not just Benin people. Let's not stigmatize a particular, ethnic group and just think it's only them. No, it's not only them. There's so many other ethnic groups that are doing it. Okay, so maybe because Benin, they talk about theirs too much. Maybe that's what people know about. But it's not just only them. Alright, I'm not going to start talking about which people or who are not doing it. But the point is, it's not helping us. Okay, what we should be thinking about, holding our government responsible for what is going on. If our country is good, we will not be hearing all this. If our economy is being run by the right people, if things are put in place for our youths, this kind of things will not happen. We will not have our girls traveling out of the country to sell their body, and we will not have lazy husbands who encourages, or boyfriend who encourages, or families who encourages this kind of life. That is all I have to say. Alright, thank you so much for listening to me. Please drop your comments. What do you think about this story? I mean, how can we move forward? It's not about talking about it and criticizing her or not criticizing her. What is the best way? Are there organizations out there that people can call? How can we get all these people that actually are the traffickers? How can we get them? Because if people are not traffickers, if we can get the traffickers arrested, maybe these children or these women will not be able to travel. Let's talk about the real problem, the roots, and how to solve it, because it will still happen. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.